What is going on, family? We are live. How is the Passport Bros community doing? We got a big show today, man. I'm about to, unfortunately, expose a guy. You know what I'm saying? My man, Auston Holleman. Don't know what's going on with this cat, man. So we're going to chop it up today. I'm going to go ahead and say my things about the cat. I know a lot of people have different feelings about Auston. Auston has been a thorn in the Passport Bros side for the last couple of years, but I will say to his credit, I will say to my man's credit that he definitely put Passport Bros on the map. I cannot take that away from Auston. All right. He blew up on TikTok. He's been on O'Shea's channel, and we all know, I don't have to keep referencing what happened in Brazil or anything like that. We all know the story of Brazil. What up, everybody? What's good? Yeah, man, we're gonna have to expose my brother. We're gonna have to expose my man, Auston Holleman. All right. Like I said, he blew up. He has a pretty sizable YouTube channel now. I think he's closing on 100K. I believe he still has his TikTok. I'm not sure, but he's pretty big. I was with Auston in Thailand, and a lot of people recognized him from all ethnicities and everything like that. But we got to discuss some things, man. We really got to discuss some things about the brother. Is he good for the movement? Did he destroy the movement? We're going to talk about all that. But first, let me get to the show at hand. We got my man Anthony Nelson in the building. We got poor Bama TV said dudes will always destroy any progress. Iman, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Somebody said dude is a bum. A lot has been said about his start. Somebody said Auston Holleman is the Black David Bond. So we got a couple of Auston Holleman fans in the building. Yeah, man. We got 64 in the room. All right. We got 64 in the room. Somebody said, old boy getting called out. He's doing too much, honestly. Yeah, man. Auston Holleman, man. Auston Holleman, like I said before, he did, the kid's credit, he did push the Passport Bros movement, I would say, to the forefront. He's been all on O'Shea do Jackson. He's actually been on the news a couple of times, and he said some good things on the news and everything. He represented us well, in my opinion. He definitely represented us well. But I got to talk about this cat, man. I have to talk about this cat, Auston Holleman. All right. All right, okay. Some other questions in the group. Okay, we got 79 in the room. Yeah, man, we're gonna get at it. We're gonna get my man. We're gonna get at my man today, bro. We're gonna definitely get at my. I think he's in Argentina right now, if I'm not mistaken. He's in Argentina right now, maybe exploring the world or something like that. I don't know what the cat is doing. But the question is, I have for the chat is he destroying the Passport Bros name? Put a 1 in the chat if yes. Put a 2 in the chat if no. I want to get your guys' feedback on this. All right. Talking about my man Auston Holleman right now. The guy who, in my opinion, has been a thorn, all right, in the Passport Bros side for the last couple of months. All right. All right. We got 91 in the room. Guys, come on in the room. Somebody said 1. We got 22222. Somebody said he's a beggar at best. Okay. All right, guys. All right. We got the emissary says 2. People saying yes. Yes. Okay. All right. Somebody thought he wasn't a passport. What up, Trey? So it wasn't a passport, bro, anymore. All right. Yeah, I've met Auston a few times. I think we've been in pretty much one country together. We've been in Thailand together. We didn't meet in Brazil. I had a lot of friends that was with him in Colombia. And people speak highly about Auston, when they meet Auston in person. So that's one thing I can give credit to. People meet him personally, for the most part, he has good vibes. I will say that about Auston. Somebody said Auston's pushing dudes traveling to dress up, which I love. Okay, all right. Somebody said 2. He's really not doing anything too crazy. Okay. Somebody. Yeah, man. We got 116 in the room. Yeah, but Auston, man. Oh, man. Auston Holleman, guys. Young cat, came in the game real strong, damn near like 50 Cent back in the early 2000s with the Get Rich or Die Trying. like I said before, he definitely exposed the movement to a bigger audience, especially on TikTok. I don't think it was no big back and forth on TikTok. Now TikTok is like the biggest platform that Passport Bros are either hashtag and mentioned in, like 470 impressions for the Passport Bros on TikTok. And I gotta give my man credit where credit is due. He really did come with that. But I have to say that he's very topic of controversy. You might want to say, I'm not going to mention too many influencers' names, but he has a hate, then a love. Some people rock with him, some people don't. His channel has grown, however, so a lot of cats listen to the information that he provides. All right, we got 131 in the room, guys. Do me a favor. Wait a minute. Hold on. I didn't drop a link, but somebody's in the back room. Hold on, right quick. Hold on 1 second. Hold up. So, oh, hey, Auston. Hold on. I don't think you hear you. Hold on. Audio.
What's going on? I see I'm the topic of discussion today. I had to tap in.
What's up, Auston? Man, I was just talking so highly about you, brother. We was just saying how you've been so good for the movement, how everybody's showing you love. Just speaking nothing but highly things about you, Auston. How's everything going today, brother? How long you been how long you been tapped in?
I was here before it started. I was watching the whole time.
Okay, then, Austin. Yeah, there was some people in the comment section talking crazy about you, brother. And I had to check them. I hope you heard that part. I was just getting the brothers
Yeah,
all
I saw
correct
him
about
over
you and
talking.
everything. What's good, brother? What's good, man?
I'm loving Argentina. I'm loving it out here.
Okay. All right. Shout out to my man Andre from Andrea Love Crossing Boys with the 10,000 meals that support Black male media. Shout out to my man Andre. Somebody said you pulled up. They said, "What up, Auston?" Man, I thought y'all was gonna have my back, man. God damn, yeah, switch thing. But yeah,
Sweet grip on you.
switch it up on me. But yeah, what's good, Auston, man? That was a hell of an intro, right?
Yeah, it was. I loved it.
All right, man. So tell us about it. You know what? Let's first start off with Europe because you recently in Europe, and that
Yep.
trip was kind of cut a little short, right?
Yep.
So just give us your rundown on you was in Poland, correct?
Poland. Yeah.
Mhm. So I mean, your trip was kind of quick, man. Was you feeling it? Is it a go for the passport, bros, or what's your thoughts?
I think it's a go, but I think I just went at the wrong time of the year. I don't do cold weather, and it was very, very cold there. I started to get a runny nose. I could tell as many people were not outside because it was so cold. So I'll have to go back next year, around maybe April or May, because it's just way too cold. I don't think it's gonna be a good idea to go during the wintertime. But it was also a lot more expensive. It wasn't United States expensive in Romania and Poland, but paying $90 a day for a 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom Airbnb, and $50 a day for a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom is way more expensive than here, where it's $25, $30
Mm,
cheaper in Thailand.
right, right. So you said that the weather kind of had everything jammed up. You can't really get a part of the participate in the nightlife like that, right?
Yeah, the nightlife was decent, but some black people, some black men said they went out there and they won. Maybe that's during the warmer months, but I wasn't seeing it like that too much. And in Argentina, it's kind of similar too. It's kind of similar to that.
Okay. And I know I seen a mention about you saying in I think it might have been a blog or either a live that you felt like you had to kind of sneak around with the women there in Poland or something like that.
Yeah, in Romania, the chick that I was with, we went on a date to a bowling alley arcade. We went to shoot pool, and that was
Mm,
cool. People really weren't staring at us like that. But when we did go out to eat after that, there was an
mm,
old lady that just sat there and just stared at us for like literally like she didn't move her eyes for like 5 minutes straight. But other than that, she I think she knew that she didn't she didn't mind being out in public, but I don't think she wanted to deal with the pressure of being out in public with somebody black. Like people that say, "Oh, they didn't have slaves. It's not racist." I don't think slavery is the only way people become racist or prejudiced.
So, like when you was walking around, did you felt like you got some stares or some cold shoulders or something like that, or?
Not often, but I did when I was by myself a few times in Romania.
So you went to Poland, Romania, and where else?
I went to Warsaw, Poland, and Krakow, Poland, Bucharest, Romania. Now I'm in Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Okay, so I've heard some good things about Bucharest. Like, what's the vibe there? Because I've heard some good things about Bucharest.
It's very Europe-y. Like it looks like the typical thing you would imagine when you're in Europe. The infrastructure, the vibe. It was very, very clean. The streets in Bucharest were very clean. No homeless people. I mean, of course, I may have seen some, like two, the entire trip I was there. It was a lot of electric cars, a lot of supercars, muscle cars and stuff like that. There was a lot of rich people in Bucharest too. Yeah, very nice vibe there. I liked it more than Warsaw and for sure Krakow, Poland. I like Bucharest more.
What about the prices? Is it a little cheaper out there, or?
The Ubers, if you rode in a 20-minute Uber, it might be like $9 or $10. So it's a lot more expensive than South America, versus an hour Uber in Salvador, Brazil was like $10. You be in the Uber an hour. So it's a third. Yeah, Uber in Brazil is about a third of what it was in Romania. The food on the average, you spend $10 to $15 per meal, versus here where I'm at right now, it's like literally $3 to $5, and it's a big portion of food for $3 to $5 in South America. Yeah.
Okay, so you've been to Europe.
Yeah.
You've been to pretty much Asia, Southeast Asia. You've been to Africa. Been to South America. What vibes are you getting, like, as far as, do you see yourself kind of really putting a stamp in for the most part?
I could definitely stay long term in Nairobi, Kenya.
Okay.
If I had to, I would do Bucharest, Romania, but I wouldn't pick there. But I could deal with it if I had to. But Nairobi, Kenya, Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, but I wouldn't pick there either. I loved it, but I wouldn't choose to go there. Salvador Bahia, even though that's kind of off limits for me right now. I could definitely live there again. Anywhere in Brazil for the most part. And I could live in Buenos Aires, Argentina, but it'd be a little difficult. Everything is fine, but the dating scene wise would be a little challenging. Let's say that.
Okay, so you pretty much settling in Africa, East Africa, and South America for the most part. That's what you're saying. East Africa, Brazil, South America in general.
Yes.
Okay. And you prefer that over Southeast Asia, over Thailand?
Yeah.
That's going to be a big one. You're going to get some calls after this one. That's going to be a big one because a lot of brothers love Thailand.
Yeah, I mean, I like Thailand too. I love Thailand because it's very convenient. It's very cheap. It's very cheap to eat, cheap cost of living. It's always something in the 4 major cities that everybody goes to. It's always something to do. You'll never be bored in Thailand. But that's honestly not my taste of women. So I think I'd still rather do Nairobi.
Now you've been in the Bangkok, the main cities, Pattaya, and all that good stuff. When you mentioned it's not your real taste in women, is it because of the personalities, because of the culture, because of the looks?
It's more so looks. I'm just into Black women and Latino women. So.
Okay. I want to give a shout out to my man Zoo Travels in the building. What up, Zoo? What's good with you, bro? We got Ash with a $99 $100 super chat, man. I really appreciate that, Ash. He says 1 yes, 2 no. If you are a pre-millennial, you may have some criticisms. If you are a post-millennial, Gen Z, etc., you probably have, what's that, AH? I think that's AH, because he speaks to the new generation, language, skills, dress, personality, attitude, and boldness to travel the world and speak his mind. All right, so they're saying 1 and 2 for a certain, right? Are you helping the movement or are you hurting the movement a little bit?
Yeah, I could see. I think I agree with his analysis.
He said AH is his. Oh, Austin. I'm sorry, Austin
Yeah,
Holleman. Okay, let me read that one
yeah,
more time. One yes, two no. If you are pre-millennial, you may have some criticisms. If you're post-millennial, Generation Z, etc., you probably love Austin Holleman because he speaks to the new generation. Language skills, dress, personality, attitude, and boldness to travel the world and speak his mind. Hell, I gotta think what I am. What am I? I think I'm a millennial, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
All right. Now, me personally, man, somebody said Floyd got to come up next. Me personally, man, when I first saw you get on the scene, bro, I was happy to see a younger brother subscribe to the ideology of being a pastor. You
Hmm.
know, most when I first started traveling, this was just 3 years ago. Most cats I ran into were around my age, maybe a tad bit younger, mostly in their 30s, definitely late 20s. But most of the cats were older, either they retired military, disability guys, or they might be IT guys. Some guys that's pretty much settled in their career. You came on the scene. I think you brought the Passport Bros to a new generation because a lot of guys. I just got TikTok maybe 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? So what are your thoughts on that? Bringing more of the youthful generation because in your age group, you technically supposed to be dating, right?
Yeah,
In that particular age group, a lot of guys by the time they're 35, they kind of opted out. At least passport, bro. They pretty much are done with the system. But you being so young, what makes it the fact that you decided to opt out of dating in the West?
I can just see based off of watching you guys' videos, and I just knew pretty much what sealed the deal was traveling abroad first. And once I seen the difference between people my age bracket versus people uh, my age bracket in the states, I noticed the maturity difference and how easygoing they were to deal with. People outside the United States mature a lot faster than we do. I think as a whole, even the 40-year-olds abroad are usually more mature than the 40-year-olds in the states, and that's
Hmm.
because. Well, why? Because why is that? But we live an easier life, right? We have safety nets like Section 8, food stamps. We don't have as much of a struggle or as such a hard upbringing as people in other nations.
Hmm. Okay. So I guess I would be a millennial. Ranges from 27 to 40. Okay, 42. All right. So okay. Now we got a question here from my brother Nate. He says, "You denounced the Passport Bros, yet you released a video talking about how Passport Bros should move. I guess that's in what's BA?
Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires. Okay, traveling's not new. I ain't gonna read the rest. I ain't gonna read the rest. But shout out to Nate. You wanna address that?
Uh, I mean, only non-YouTubers don't understand why I use the passport bro term. There's these things on YouTube, key terms,
Mm-hmm.
things that YouTube is a search engine.
Mm-hmm.
Use if I want to get my point across to a certain group of people, I'll tag something that I think that they'll be looking for, which is that word.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I don't think you didn't necessarily denounce the Passport Bros. I think you don't want to be responsible for such a large, I guess you want to call it, say, I hate to say movement, but just an
Yeah,
association. It's just so big.
yeah. For example, David Bond, the white guy that he claims to be a passport bro now, and
Mm-hmm.
he even has like a website that sells a course on how to pick up. I don't know exactly. It's something like that. Anyway, when they wrote
Mm-hmm.
the article about me on CNN in March of this year, they had
Mm-hmm.
his course on how to pick up women in other countries in my article. And that's when I
Mm-hmm.
realized, oh, because it's a label, they can just throw anything that anybody else is doing under that same label and put it on me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So how does that feel being featured all on? I mean, because everything kind of hit you pretty hard, man. I'm gonna be honest with you because before you start, subscribing to the Passport Bro ideology and pushing it out there, it was kind of it was out there. Don't get me wrong, it was definitely out there. I mean, people were talking about it, but when you brought it to the public more, you exposed it more, on TikTok, and then you was all on social media. Do you think you had more of a, did you help it or did you maybe damage it a bit?
I would say I helped it because all exposure is good exposure. You know,
Okay.
people can make up negative things, but it's still more people aware, and the people that have common sense or that can see through the BS will still tune into it and buy into the ideology. Uh, Negative parts. Uh, I mean, you could say that I damaged it with the whole passport bro thing, but I've never promoted pay for play. You know, I've never promoted none of that degeneracy overseas. Actually, a lot of that was going on before I got here, and it's still continuing going on. That's why I said I wanted to separate my name from that.
Okay, we got my man Flight Madison in the building with a $5 super chat. He says, "Good to see y'all two breaking the internet again. Passport Bros V2 talking about the app. I appreciate that, Flight Madness. Appreciate the $5 super chat, my man." Somebody says, Saints here says, young face, engaging, and abrasive. He was the perfect candidate to be a poster boy by the media.
Yes. Thank you.
And have you talked to anybody? I know you had a conversation with the guy. I think it was I forgot his name. Fox 5 News, the brother.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I forgot his name, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I think you said, and I don't want to tell I know it's a private conversation, but I know behind closed doors, you probably get a lot more support, right? From some of these other guys. Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to say too, you said about me bringing the younger generation. It may seem that way, but the majority of my audience on YouTube is above 25 to 70 years old.
Okay.
Under 25 makes up the least amount.
And do you think that you leaving the States in America, because you kind of timed it perfectly, you went viral and everything like that, and you started doing travel vlogs stuff, because you was doing lives at first. Do you still think you made the right decision in leaving America?
Yeah, I don't miss anything about it but my family.
Yeah, me too. I can definitely agree with that, man. Definitely miss the family. That's one of the things you got to get used to. And people think like, the thing about it is, like, as much as we love our families, people that don't either live overseas or don't travel frequently don't never understand that America is just too much. Excuse me. At what age did you think that you really recognize and realize that you really want to get out of the States?
At 22, it was around August 2022. No, 2021. 2021. I was 22, and I knew I was always going to come to Latin America because that's always been my speed. Just from seeing it on TV, just the vibe of Latin America was always my speed. And here I am again. And the only thing competing with it to me is Nairobi.
Okay, let's talk about that a little bit before we get to some of the most serious topics. Let's talk about your time in Africa, because a lot of brothers frequent Thailand, Brazil, Colombia. We know the big four. What made Nairobi so dope? Because I saw your vlogs, man. Like, you was really enjoying life. Is it because they're other black people, or is it the culture is similar? Like, what makes Nairobi so dope? The women, the food.
It was the least amount of culture shock, so it felt very comforting. It didn't feel too unusual, but it was just better to be. You had a better experience being around those black people than I did in Dallas or anywhere I was at in the States. But I had a better experience there than in the States. And the internet worked very well. The food was very good. Everything else just fit right into place. I mean, you had some small issues, but for the most part, it was really nothing to complain about.
So I've seen some videos about you specifically, and they're saying that they still calling you a passport bro, whether you want to be associated or not. They're saying that the guys, the local guys don't like us and all that good stuff. Like, what's the real rundown?
Even in the white countries, I haven't had an issue with the men at all. So I doubt. I mean, of course, it's never going to be absolute. So you will have some men in some countries, some cities that won't be happy because they feel like you're an unbeatable competition for them, or you may come there and mess things up in their country and turn it into what you were running away from. But for the most part, that's not really something you have to worry about at all.
Okay. I want to touch up on that real quick. Do you think, in your personal opinion, that guys coming from the West, when they come to these foreign countries, right, and a lot of us have our culture of simpery, do you think that we're kind of making a dent in the dating market? Do you think that because we treat the women a little differently than the local guys who are a little bit more stern, do you think that we're making that type of market disruption in the dating market?
Yes, but at the same time, most of these women abroad would like to be with their own before they'd rather be with you.
Hmm. Okay. Expound. You got to expound on that. You got to expound.
So I was saying in one of my lives recently, if you are Colombian, if you're
Mhm.
American and you go to Colombia and you find an Afro Latina woman there, let's just keep everything black so we can make this a good comparison. And you
Okay.
find an Afro Latina woman there, she's thinking, okay, he's more than likely going to have more money, status, and power than the local. But if there was a local Afro Latino man in Colombia, she would pick him over you if there was no difference with the materialistic things, superficial
Mhm.
things, let's just say.
So, are you saying in your experience that the love isn't genuine that American guys are getting from foreign women?
No, it is. It is because I've felt it plenty of times, but it is not uncommon for it to be disingenuous.
Okay. And do you feel like that's more up to the American guy? Because I say this all the time. You can go to any country in the world, any city in the world. If you don't do your due diligence in validating the woman that she really is there for you, and some guys don't care. You got some guys who got money. They'll make a business arrangement. They've been married. They got kids already. They just want to see something, nice at the crib every day, cooking
Yeah.
and cleaning. They don't care about all the lovey-dovey stuff. You know what I'm saying? Um, but do you think that it is possible for guys if they do their due diligence in validating the women to find love outside outside the matrix?
Yeah, but a lot of guys either don't care or they don't vet.
Mm.
For example, a lot of dudes complain about black American women and how ghetto they are and how masculine they behave. But recently, I posted a short of Kate
I seen
sticking,
that.
sticking her middle finger up at the camera, dancing, shaking her ass just like a black woman from America would. And
Hmm.
there's no hope for these dudes. They're in the comments literally saying like, "Oh, sign me up, this and that." And those are the same dudes that they're not just trying to sleep with her. They would actually take her serious, and then get online and complain about Thai women when really you just didn't do your due diligence and look at who you was dealing with.
Mm.
A lot
Oh
of
my
people also
lord.
need to know that these women that are on my videos are just characters on my show.
Hmm.
I can see the same thing everybody else can see.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. We're gonna go right back to that. Hold on, because you dropped some bars there. Hold on. I shout out Ash with $100 super chat once again, brother. I really appreciate that. He says, retired military, 49 years old. I love Austin Holleman. If I was not married, I would be traveling right along with him. The criticism mostly surround respecting the culture, behaviors, and maturity. I think Austin Holleman made some mistakes in the beginning, but once he got more connected with the OGs, he is only getting better. Once again, brother, I really appreciate both the super chats. You want to
Thank
respond
you.
to that?
Yes, I would agree when I did make some rookie mistakes, like the whole Brazil situation. Had I been who I am today, that probably would have never happened. But
Hmm.
everything, it had to happen for me to learn to not have it happen again. For me to
Okay,
not.
now, real quick, because I understand, you didn't, your intention wasn't to disrespect the culture or anything. But me personally, brother, I don't feel like you did anything wrong.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Me personally, because I seen other white YouTubers do ask the same exact questions. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
even worse.
saying? Right. Now, it could have been some things you did and maybe a few little videos or two that, I always tell you, man, you should have might cut that part out. That's what
Mhm.
I would say was some of your mistakes. Because I always call you, I'd be like, oh, take this down, bro.
Yeah,
So is that
yeah.
what you mean by some mistakes you made, just not maybe editing your show a little bit better for context?
Yeah, I edit it better now, but I think the best thing that I've done to control the narrative is minimizing the amount of women that I have in my videos. Like, just because you guys don't see me put women in the videos doesn't mean that I'm not having any interactions when I go to these countries. It's just a whole nother headache having to deal with women and having to deal with how it's going to be perceived online.
Okay.
Sometimes it's not worth it.
And I got Travel University. I thought it was a Travel University, but I think this is not him. This is somebody else. She says, "Bro said explain more like that ain't common sense." Oh, great. So, but that was Travel University, bro. Okay, it's Travel University. Mhm. So, in considering as far as going back to the women and Kate, you're pretty much showing the dating experience. But I think some of your audience might feel like this is what you're trying to show off to try to make it seem that all foreign men are better than American women, right? And in some cases, you said to yourself that, hey, this chick isn't my prototype for the most part. This is what I wouldn't do. Do you think you guys draw more of a hard line in the sand when it comes to terms of telling your audience that, hey, man, I know I'm dating right now, but I'm just feeling it around. I'm showing you that, yo, this is not my type. So I'm gonna go here and do some more dating.
Yeah, I think that's exactly my. I think that describes exactly what I'm trying to do. Is wait, repeat that again because I'm not really understanding that.
Okay, so basically, when your audience sees you with, let's just say Kate, right? And Kate does something disrespectful to the camera, or she does something to you, or something like that. Some of your audience members, or some people watching your videos, might say, "Well, man, I thought you said all the foreign women were better than the American women." It seems like you're showing us, more ratchetness.
Yeah, I like to show what's really going on and that everything is not perfect abroad. Because I never said it was perfect. I just said the frequency that you're running to something valuable is more common than it will be back home.
But you said before that most time America, the women in these countries, and I can agree with you. Um, Most of the women in these countries, especially in Brazil, they want their own men.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
is there still a challenge for guys leaving the states? Now I have my own perceptions on this, but can it still be a challenge because you got a language barrier, you got a culture differences? Um, is it still a challenge? Is dating overseas still better than dating in America?
for me, it is. Yes, for me, it's been a day and night experience. Even in the worst countries, it's still been better for me. But
Mm-hmm.
the biggest challenge you'll have in most countries, since most countries don't speak English as a primary language, is the language barrier. The whole cultural difference thing, that's something that can be learned abroad, but if you can't effectively communicate, you can't have a genuine connection with somebody.
Mm. So you think that, say, you're dating an Afro Brazilian, is it plausible that you guys can just try and teach each other the language?
Yes, it's they tend to have that patience, but I can't guarantee you that they'll all have the patience to do that for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. And everybody keeps mentioning Floyd, your boy Floyd. Now you and Floyd, y'all was traveling together at one point, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's in Brazil now. You in Argentina. Now I saw a video. I'm not gonna play the video or anything like that of Floyd having a problem in Argentina with, I guess, a situation with a woman he was trying to talk to, or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that the reason he left Argentina? He wasn't comfortable, or he said it was racist?
There. That's one of the reasons he left. But one thing I will say about Floyd, and I've said this already, and I've told him this too, is that
Mm-hmm.
he goes places forcing interactions.
Mm-hmm.
Before he reads the room, he'll force what he wants these people to behave like. Two, he goes looking. He comes in it with a negative mindset already. Like whenever we were on the way over here from Poland, he was like, "Hopefully this will be good." So in the tone of his voice, he's already lost. So the slightest face, anybody makes, oh, it's racist. Oh, it's this, it's that, because you were looking for that. You expected that. When I go places, I'm going to Argentina to see what it's about. I don't have any expectation. I'm informed on history and all that, but I'm gonna go see what it's about in November 2023. I don't care what happened 100 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
100 years ago, there was segregation in the United States. I don't think most of us have experienced segregation to this day.
Mm.
So
That's
would
a
you
good
tell
point.
somebody, would you tell an African not to come to the United States because 100 years ago they were segregated?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you know what? You make a real good point, man, because I think my brother Zoe had mentioned the same thing. And I think I asked him the same thing. I asked him about Argentina and the history because I'm familiar with it as well. And he was like, man, I don't even go looking for that. I just go to travel, see my experience. He said he enjoyed Buenos Aires. He had a good time. I got another brother I just got the phone with, my brother Thomas Brown, and he's over there in Malaysia. And I did a live show with him. The first comments was like, "Man, don't go to Malaysia. It's hella racist. It's hella don't go there." Then I asked him in the interview. I'm like, "Yo, is Malaysia racist? You know what's going on in Malaysia?" He was like, "I don't even go look at it. I enjoy Malaysia. I like living here. I live in a beautiful building. I don't even go looking for it." Right.
Yeah.
And I also had another guy. Um, this guy's named Cowboy. He's in Thailand. He has a restaurant out there in John Tien. And I think he was mentioning something about the Russians, and he was in this area with all Russians, all Europeans in this area, right? And he says to me, this is an older cat from California. He has like a wooden leg and everything, but he has the best energy in the world. And if you want to see that interview, guys, it's on my channel. He was like, bro, I don't even look for racism. She's like, I don't even give it the time of day. If somebody racist, I wouldn't even know it because it's not going to affect my financial statement at the end of the day or my lifestyle at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, racism is just ignorance, and
Mm-hmm.
anybody can be ignorant and behave ignorantly. So if you can block out ignorant people in general,
Mm-hmm.
you won't notice the racism. Because I mean, the longer I stay here, I can kind of see some things, but I'm not. But I always keep in the back of my head. It could just be because I'm one of the 30 black people I've seen in the 11 days I've been here. I've
Mm-hmm.
probably only seen 30 black people the entire time I've been here in a city of 3 million people. So people are gonna look.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna look.
Mm-hmm.
You can look
Now,
at I'm
did you
just rare,
experience?
or
Uh-huh.
you can look at it as racism.
Now, did you get any vibes like that when you was in Brazil? Because I know sometimes, like when I'm in the little ritzy areas of Baja da Juca, I know that basically white women would kind of, white Portuguese women would try to jump in front of me. And then I say something in American, I'm like, hold up, like say something, they hear the English, they like, oh shit, right? He's a foreigner, basically.
Hmm.
But did you experience anything like that in Brazil? And I wouldn't say that's necessarily racism, but I don't know why they would think that they could just jump in front of line. Now, I see that happen a lot in Brazil.
Well, that's because in Brazil, most of the black people are at the bottom of society.
Mm-hmm.
So they feel like they can do that, but whenever they hear that, oh, he is, he's probably from England or he's from the United States or somewhere that's a little more valuable than being a black Brazilian, then they're like, oh, maybe he's not beneath me. It's a subconscious thought. Oh, maybe he's not beneath me. So they change up their behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. And you would
But
still
I didn't
prefer,
experience that in
go
Salvador.
ahead.
I didn't experience that in Salvador at all.
Salvador's like more, it's more, well, it's a lot of blacks in Rio too, but it's more Afros out there, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let me ask you this, man. I mean, you mentioned Nairobi because I'm assuming Nairobi is like your number one city. You being a Black American, did you feel any type of prejudice at all out there, or is it more like, hey, bro, you from the States, let's rock?
It was like, hey, bro, you from the States is rock. Yeah. But a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times, not so much in Nairobi, but in other countries, that attitude came with, "Hey, you from the States? There's something I could use you for. Let me be."
Mm.
I experienced that the first time in Tanzania.
Mm-hmm.
You go out with the dudes and they hang out. They'll show you a good time and show you the city, help you find the women and all that. But it's it's literally just so you can pay for everything as well. You can fund their lifestyle at the same time.
Do you think that Black Americans in general, and I asked this before, but I just want to know your opinion on it. Do you think we have we're in a very unique situation to where we are probably some of the wealthiest Black people in the world, and that's why we get so much attention and people trying to use us and stuff?
Yes, because the United States is the land of opportunity. So anybody coming from the United States is going to be viewed that way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the best time for Black Americans right now
Mm-hmm.
than it's ever been. and a lot of us are not taking advantage of it. I think there was more blacks that were about their money 100 years ago than there are now.
Why you say that?
Well, when you think about segregation, you had more black-owned businesses, and when there were no safety nets, people they had to have more ambition. Just like the people here, you have people on the side of the street that clean your shoes. In the States, ain't nobody cleaning shoes on the side. At least I ain't never seen it. Ain't nobody cleaning shoes on the side of the street because the government will take care of them.
Okay. And you did a video about South America in general, about Passport Bros coming to South America. What tips would you give for some of the guys and say, hey man, this is how they move, and what's your suggestions?
Depending on what country you're in, you shouldn't wear jewelry. Here in Buenos Aires, there's no problem. In Brazil, is proceed with caution. When I was in Medellin, it seemed like you needed to use extreme caution wearing jewelry and carrying cash. But luckily, places like Brazil is pretty much cashless. Like you can use your card everywhere. They can pay with Pix, which is like their version of Cash App. But here in Buenos Aires, you don't. It's not cashless for the most part. You need to carry cash. You can use your card in some places, but it's not always efficient. So I would say it depends country by country, but you have to use the same street smart that you would use in Chicago in South America with a little more caution because there is extreme corruption.
Okay. Now, is there a country you've been to that you wouldn't suggest Passport Bros to visit or go to at all?
I wouldn't tell anybody not to go anywhere, but the places that I would not put the top of my priority list to recommend is Zambia, Ghana, Rwanda. And I'm not going to judge the European countries because it was the wrong time of year, but those three places, and maybe Cambodia.
Okay, I got you with the Cambodia. You don't like Cambodia? Okay. Yeah, hey, don't go to Cambodia.
I liked
don't
it,
go to Cambodia.
It wasn't like I liked it, but it wasn't developed enough for you could get bored there pretty quickly.
You know what? I will say that. I say that Cambodia is a nice place to visit. But just like once you get past the Phnom Penh, I would say maybe a 20-mile radius, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Right? It's nothing. But Cambodia has a very interesting history. Did you go by the museum? National Museum in Cambodia?
Did I go where?
To the museum, the National Museum out there in Phnom Penh?
Yeah.
Did you see the statues?
Yeah.
But what they look like?
You talking about the one with the bones?
Not the that was for the genocide.
Oh, okay.
The actual National Museum with the actual statues. They look just like black people, basically.
Oh, no, I didn't go there, but I will agree they do have a lot of black features. A lot of black features in Cambodia.
I got another super chat by Da Tip. He says, "Is Auston aware of the new president of Argentina? You aware of that?"
Yes, I am. But I don't know enough to have a comment on him.
Now, somebody said they're asking why you say not to go to Zambia and Rwanda and those other countries.
Rwanda that's another place you can get bored very quickly. The transportation is a fucking nightmare. Like somewhere that's a 5-minute car ride distance, a 5-minute distance by car would take you on average an hour if you wanted to go by car. So then you would have to use it. It was more efficient to use the motorcycles the motorcycles were just like taxis there. There were enough motorcycles that would drive by willing to take you places. They don't speak any English. You'd have to learn their language, fair enough. But then they don't know their own way around their own city. Like you would say, hey, take me to this mall. They don't know the name of the mall. They know the name of the restaurant that's next to it. But you don't know that. So you show them the GPS, and they look at it, and it seems like they've never seen a GPS before in their life. So they're following the GPS, and they literally will not take their eye off of the phone the entire ride. So you have to give them your phone because they think that the blue line can say go straight for a mile. They will look down at their phone every damn 5 seconds. as if that blue line is just gonna flip and go the other direction. They have no, they're not up to date.
Mm.
Zambia is up to date. It's just another place that's not that developed, not that much going on,
Mhm.
not that many beautiful women either, and that's a horrible.
Oh, shit.
You
Go
know
ahead.
that
What's it?
that's a horrible combination. You can't have it. Can't be not a lot to do, and then
Mm.
not a lot of beautiful women, and then it's not as you don't have as many. You don't have as much access to even the good clothes and stuff like that. It's hard to
Mm.
find things there and in Rwanda. And Ghana was you know relatively developed. There was always something to do. You wouldn't be bored there. But for me, it was too American like for me.
And I think Ghana has like a right to abode or something.
A what?
A right to abode, but Black Americans can go back over there, right? Something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, they do.
Mhm. Now we got Damian Wilson says Cambodia is awful, it's overpriced, and not very welcoming to the brothers. I think yeah, in some cases, I know the prices are a little bit. Well, really, it wasn't that bad when I was there. Actually, I'm thinking about the casino that I was in. The prices were pretty moderate. As far as they're not welcoming to brothers, I didn't get that vibe. Like I
No,
said,
you're welcome.
yeah, I didn't really get that vibe at all. As a matter of fact, the choosing was probably heavier in Cambodia than any other country that I've been in. Would you agree? Would you agree that?
Yeah, I would agree. They were more
because
in.
because you're talking about pretty much a brown skinned Asian. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And the thing about most Asian males, the guys with the money, the Koreans, the Chinese, and the Japanese, they're looking for another white Asian per se. They're not looking for a dark skinned Asian. If they bring a dark skinned Asian home, it might be just as worth as bringing a Black American home.
yeah,
Actually, Black American might be better than a dark skinned Asian person because they at least associate you with money and being American.
yeah.
So I got a lot of love in Cambodia, but don't go to Cambodia, guys. Don't go to Cambodia. Somebody said I ate a big spider with a Cambodian chick. Yeah, man. It was. I ate a little piece. I ate a little piece. I ate a little piece, man. Somebody said that Ghana thing is the right to a vote is a scam to get Black American dollars. I won't doubt it, man. Everybody's trying to
Yeah.
get our dollars. Our dollars is the
And
world
that's
currency,
the reason
basically.
I wasn't feeling Ghana like that was because I had these super high expectations. I had people telling me, "Oh, you're gonna like Ghana more than Nairobi. You're gonna like
Mm-hmm.
Accra more than Nairobi." No, I don't. I
Mm-hmm.
actually don't. Like, not at all. Like, the it's just not as developed. It's just not on Nairobi's level. It's really not. And
Now, did you when
even
you
as
was
simple
not?
as the phone was difficult. In Nairobi, you can get a phone you can get a SIM card. I mean, at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you get off the plane, get your bag. They have a Safaricom. You can get your phone number. In
Mm-hmm.
Ghana, I got there and I asked my guide, "You okay? Where's the phone shop at so I can get a SIM card?" He said, "Oh, we're gonna do that tomorrow. You got to have an ID." Really?
Mm-hmm.
And you want me? Y'all say come back home, and I can't even get a fucking SIM card.
Now, I would ask you that you did not mention Uganda because you went to Uganda as well, right?
I went to Uganda. I don't have much bad to say, but it's not as developed as Nairobi was. Kampala wasn't as developed as Nairobi, but it it's a vibe there. It's for sure a vibe there. You won't be bored there often, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just I still would pick Nairobi over Kampala.
Mm. Okay, and you met my man O'Shea Duke Jackson out there, right?
Yeah, yeah, I did.
And my man showed you around and everything like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had a real good time there. Very good. They had some nice women there too.
In Uganda.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the big differences that you see between? Do I have to section off and just say East African women because I guess they're going to be different, right? Because it's the big
Yeah.
continent. So what's one of the major differences that you saw in the women in Nairobi and Uganda in comparisons to women? And it's not this. I just want to get your opinion to the black women in the states.
When it comes to how they look, they were very similar. Like I didn't see too many chicks in Nairobi with long fingernails and all that, but the way how they wear their makeup, the way how they dress, the way how to a certain extent they still have their own little style that American women once had that they've lost now. Like they have that grown, mature, sexy, classy style in Nairobi. And in America, you still have women like that, but it's not the majority anymore. It's more
Mhm.
it's very provocative, very disgusting. It's just not that attractive to me. But in Nairobi, they still look very mature.
Mhm. Okay, now it's a different culture out there. Is this a situation where if passport bros, let's say guys start pulling up in Nairobi and Uganda, they need to know, they need to be informed. Is there some form of a dowry system there or something? Do they have to pay the family to marry the women there?
Yeah, you
What's
do
that
have to
like?
do that. You do have to do that.
Okay, so at what point do you have that conversation? Is there a dating culture there, or is there more of a end dating where they just go, you take a girl out and you discuss in marriage?
No, it's definitely not that in Nairobi.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even not in Nairobi, even outside of Nairobi. I went to Nakuru, which is a very small city.
Mm-hmm.
That there was no, I didn't get that. It was still like a hookup culture there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even in Mombasa, it's like that too.
Mm-hmm. So these discussions in terms of a dowry, right? Um, Being American, because we don't have possibly land or some type of currency, is there a payment amount that's a
Hmm.
minimum or maximum? Like what are we looking at?
Yeah, I interviewed a Kenyan woman and her boyfriend that's from the States, and she was advertising her dating website. And I believe she said it was like on average about 5 grand you had to pay.
5,000 US dollars.
Yeah.
Okay. Now 5,000 is not bad, you know what I'm saying? Uh are these women, how can I put this politically correct? Have these women been around the block or anything like that? Are guys
Most of
getting okay, hold on, right quick, hold on. So these are not traditional women that you're paying for a dowry for, or are they traditional women? They just been, around the block a few times.
I mean, you can find the traditional ones if you go out to the village. I've had a few local Kenyan men tell me that your best bet is to go to the village and get,
Mm-hmm.
because once they visit the city, it's pretty much a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
But in the city, I would never pay a dowry for a chick that I met in Nairobi. I would never. You have some. I've been on a date with a chick that was so traditional, she wouldn't even give me a kiss. She wanted to meet for another date, but she wouldn't give me a kiss or nothing like that. We didn't sleep together or nothing like that. But generally speaking, no, you do not. That's not something you're gonna
So
find in a big city.
so wait a minute. I'm in my early 40s. If I date a woman in Kenya, Austin,
Hmm.
and let's just say she's 30, 29, 30, am I still expected to pay a dowry to the family if we decide to get married?
I'm not sure about that, but I believe so. I believe most likely if she still lives with her parents. If she's not living with her parents, that may not be the case. Like the girl
Hmm.
Crystal I had on the show, she didn't live with her parents. I'm pretty sure if I like chose to marry her or something, I don't think there'd be a dowry.
Okay. I got the tip, dot tip, $10 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. It says, what is your guys' definition of boring? Is all you guys do is party, eat, and meet women, and that's it. No sightseeing, festivals, outdoor activities like kayaking, snorkeling, hiking, etc., museums. Now, I think we do all that, right? I know I do. I mean, guys don't watch the videos, right?
Yeah. These are questions for people that must be new here or they're not
Mhm.
watching all the videos. Just like somebody in the comments said, "Oh, Austin is throwing the African countries under the bus, but he's promoting Argentina." Do your research. I just spent 4 months promoting Nairobi
Mhm.
and Tanzania.
Mhm. Now let's speak to that. Do you think it's our audience, because we do blogs, and maybe your blogs do better? But when I went to the museum in Cambodia and talked about all this history and about Cambodia, I got like maybe a couple thousand views or something, right? Like, do you think some guys are just not interested in that?
It's for the most part the women is the reason we post so much of the women is because that's what sells. That's what
Hmm.
gets clicks. I've had, for example, when I was in Romania, I was talking about the first date I went on, and it was just a picture of me that said, "What it's like to date a Romanian woman." The first hour, it got like 800 views. I was like, "Oh, my videos don't ever do that few in views." I switched it to a picture of her and I, and the video was at 35,000 views the first day.
That's crazy.
So we, what else did they say? Oh, we don't do kayaking, snorkeling, and all that. We do that, but I mean, again, I did the slave castle, the slave port, whatever that was in Senegal. Very informative. I had a guy that spoke English, gave some very good detail about that location. Of any video I have with a woman with it is outperforming that video to this day.
Man, you know what? It's interesting because how do you break out of this little, I guess you want to say, algorithm that we in, where most guys are clicking on just to see what type of girl that you're dating, more so than we really want to show you guys more of the culture. But I will say that in the comment section, you're gonna have guys that like, oh man, great video, love the video, but it's always gonna be few and in between.
Few. The hack that I did with that, because the reason the situation was so bad in Brazil was I tried to do that in Brazil. Like, okay, enough about women. I don't want to put women in the video. When I first moved to Salvador, I did a video, how much do groceries cost in Salvador? That video has like 10,000 views to this day. Then I do a video, all white party, beautiful Brazilian women. I put some beautiful Brazilian women on the thumbnail. That video does 100,000 views in a week. But the way has this person, this girl that asked a question before this one, or whoever it is, they still don't watch it. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. Because I've done more activities since January. I've shown more of the culture of these places and less women. But one thing I realized with Kate was, because I was like, I'm not going to talk about women anymore. Back in January, I said that I'm just going to do vlogs on the country. Those videos weren't doing that well. So then I found Kate, and I was like, I'm going to put both of them together. I put Thai girl goes to this restaurant with me. Thai girl goes to this rooftop with me. Thai girl shows me around this mall. Thai girl makes me eat snails. They do the same amount of views. Woman showing me rather than me by myself.
Okay. I got a super chat here about Uncle Luke 1980s with $10 super chat. Man, I really appreciate that. He says, glad you came up on the stream, Auston Holleman. Control your narrative, bro. Keep doing what you do. I'm also enjoying the fitness channel. Keep these men in shape, even overseas. Good point. I got flight manager $2 super chat. Man, I really appreciate that. Once again, my brother, he says, send Auston a Travel Lux bag in Kenya was a hassle. Did you get your Travel Lux bag?
No, I don't have it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Is it hard to receive things in Africa?
Yeah, you have to go through like other companies. Like they have third-party shipping companies in Kenya where you can do it without paying all the high taxes. Because, for example, I have a sponsor from Tej Hanley, and their kit that they sent me is worth like $44. Well, they paid $40, $45 in shipping fees to get it to me. I didn't have to pay for it because I was a sponsor. Then when I went to go pick it up from the post office, they charged me the exact value of the kit. And then I had to pay another $7 postage fee. So essentially, if I wanted to order that face wash myself without being a sponsor, I would pay for it 3 times.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Now, have you visited any Caribbean countries yet?
No, but I will. While I'm out here in Latin America, I will do pretty much every country. But I have not. No.
I had a good question for you, but I lost it. Somebody made a pretty good observation in one of the comments about Africa. But right now, you're pretty much saying some of your main cities are going to be Nairobi, and I'm assuming Salvador Bahia.
Yes.
Right now, do you have any plans on going back there, or is it just kind of like you're just letting things settle down a little bit more?
Not Salvador. I mean, eventually one day, but not really, because I actually had my landlord. I put my homeboy on to her, so because he wants to go there, and she even called. This was this morning. She called and told him not to tell me that it's still not a good idea for me to come back. And even Fred told me I shouldn't go back.
Hmm.
Yeah. He said anywhere else but there, though.
Okay. You plan on coming to Columbia?
Yeah, I'll be there in about 2 months.
Okay. Somebody says y'all ruin every country. Y'all touch stay in Argentina. Oh, stay in Argentina. I don't know. I don't know why people think that.
Yeah,
We
I
don't
think
really make a dent. That's the thing about us. We don't even make a dent in anything. But everybody associates everything with Sosua for some reason, which is like so close to America. That's damn near a couple of hours from Miami, and a lot of Dominicans go back and forth from New York to the Sioux and everything like that. So everybody associates, oh, them guys are going to run like they ruin Sosua. No, bro, these countries are way bigger, they're farther, they're massive. I promise you, we don't make a dent. I used to think so too. I used to say Traversity. I used to be like, man, I hope brothers don't mess up Thailand, but Thailand is sweet. But once you live there, you realize, man, we ain't making a dent.
yeah, maybe in a city, and usually maybe in the area. Like even when I was in Medellin, I think it was just that El Poblado area, certain parts of the city. But when I left those parts of the city, it felt very local.
Now let me ask you this, man. You've had a lot of. We're gonna get into a little bit of the controversy now. We got the hour mark. We got 408 room in the room right now, guys. Appreciate that. Do me a favor, hit that like button. And I know you've heard the criticism and everything, but all the videos made about you, it's like I think I sent you one like last night or whatnot. Like, why do you think so many people coming at you so left? Like, what does it do to agitate other YouTubers?
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Which really helps grow you. I guess they
Yeah.
don't understand that part, but
I've always liked to debate. I've always enjoyed drama, so I do a lot of things to actually, entice people to make videos. I read 100% of my YouTube comments. I watch all my critics' videos, like all of them. I get enjoyment out of that. People think that they're exposing me and all this. You can't expose me. I'm too open about everything. There's no exposing Austin Holleman. That's just not even possible. You can't do that. But it's good, like you said, it's good for more exposure as far as my channel.
Like, do you ever? Because you don't do this. You never really do a video back. I noticed that about you. You just kind of let it roll.
I don't ever talk about people. Not individually. I'll talk about groups of people, but I don't ever name names because I'm not going to give you any clout. I don't ever talk about people. I think the only person I talked about was the Stephanie Ribeiro, the feminist in Brazil. That's the only name I think I've really named.
All right, I want to give a shout out to my man Gavin Turner. He was out here a couple of weeks ago, man. Shout out to you, Gavin. I appreciate the $5 super chat. Also, appreciate you coming out here, hanging out with me. He says the two bros that changed my life, got my passport, and opened my eyes to a life overseas. God bless y'all.
God bless you too.
Shout out to my man Gavin. You know Gavin, right? It's my bands.
Yeah. He's in my group chat. I've been knowing him a while.
Shout out to my man Gavin, man. We got my boy Good Time Grego in the building. Grego type of cat that don't answer the phone but show up in your chat. Shout out to Grego. He said we had a good time in Laurelis. Shout out to Grego, man. Somebody said don't mention Thailand to Pookie them. What do you think about this passport Pookie thing, man? What do you think about that? Have you seen in your travels any guys, messing up the game or not representing Black American men well?
I've seen it in Pattaya. I've seen it in Pattaya and I've seen it in Medellin. But there's certain countries that they won't try that in. Like they won't go to Ho Chi Minh City trying that because they'll be in jail. They won't go to Cambodia trying that because they will be in jail.
Sure will, yep.
And they'll be in jail in Thailand too. But I mean, it seems like it's a little more passive there too. In Brazil, they won't try that because not so much jail, but the locals will handle you there.
You know what, man? I want your opinion on this. and we're gonna go ahead and wrap the show up in a few. I want your opinion on this, man, because I did a show. I think it was a couple of maybe like last week sometime. I did a show, and the purpose of the show was saying that some black men from America kind of go overseas to these countries and these tourist areas, and they wipe up the same thing that they say they want to escape from. I want to know because when I did the panel, guys were kind of like kowtowing and being politically correct, but we both know, and I think me and you, especially us being from the South, I think we have a different flavor. We kind of keep it player, keep it pushing, right? That's what we grew up on. But you got other guys from other places of the country that kind of come with the simpering to a certain level. Have you seen that? I know I've seen that of brothers going to these countries and kind of wiping up the non-select, basically.
Well, it's just like what I said about Kate. They complain about American women being too masculine and ghetto, and then I post a Thai woman throwing both of her middle fingers up, doing a very American dance, wearing clothes where her ass is exposed and shaking her ass just the same way they would at some strip club in the United States. And there's dudes in the comments that say, "Sign me up." So it's very true.
So you saying you see the white guys, the Asian guys, Latina guys? Do you think that black men probably pretty much get? I gotta be politically correct because I got a solid channel here. That we get the less than basically.
Yes, we do.
The throwaways of their society for the most part.
Yeah, you have to. I think in order for that to change, you have to do what I'm doing, or what we're doing is not return to the States for a while for your standards to upgrade. Because even when I went overseas, I found myself very often what I would like to say fucking just to fuck. Like sometimes it doesn't matter what she looks like. I just want to get this today. And I actually had to grow out of it. That's why I don't mind being dry for 2 weeks at a time. I've changed that. I don't want to do that anymore. But to be honest with you, the white men, I'm not going to lie though, and I hate to make it about race, but the white men do seem to have the better select more frequently. Not because those women want them more. It just seems like they just pick the better women. The dude that I don't know if you see my community post, we were smoking a cigar together. And he was he's like a 50-year-old white guy. And he was telling me about dates he was going on here. And I was like, yeah, let me see what they look like. I'm like, damn, his bitches look better than mine.
Right.
Yeah, so I've noticed that a lot in Brazil, here. We're not going to say Europe because that's their group. But Asia, all that. Not saying men don't, but it's like you.
That is, man, because for a long time, I wouldn't mention it. I wouldn't say anything because you date who you want to date, right? I'm not one of the guys to be like, but sometimes I be seeing brothers, I just be like, that's your girl? Like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you came all the way thousands of miles for that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that. I'm not speaking on just the looks because like who you like. I'm talking about the attitude and everything. I'm like, bro, you in Southeast Asia, like you got you exotic. You can have so many options. And you settle up with, a girl that's known basically.
Yeah. Yeah, and somebody said that's because of colonialism. I'll agree with that. That will always be there because white men are perceived to be the most powerful. Because to be honest, I mean they are. I mean they took over every continent of the planet.
What happened with white men in particular was they were fighting like cats and dogs back in Europe, right? But once they got a hold of Africa after the world wars and everything, and they said, "Hey guys, our technology can really colonize the rest of the world. We can go and just take everybody's resources." So they stopped infighting and it spread out. Portugal got Brazil, Britain got North America, Spain got pretty much the majority of South America. Well, not the majority, but they got parts of South America and the Caribbean, and they just started. So it looks like on the surface that they work together because they do, but they work together within their ethnic group. So you got going back and forth totally, but because they're going to be the top tier, right? The white Spaniard, the European, simply because their technology is better, they was able to colonize the free world, basically. And women see that. And I've been telling brothers in my group for the longest, I'm like, bro, the problem with us as black men is we like Rambos. We one-man armies. We don't understand that in economics, it's a group race. In the world, power, if you're playing the power game, it's a group race. It's not about, oh, I'm a big black dude over 6'2", I can knock out anybody I want. It's not about that. That's cool, right? Nobody wants to see a black man in the back alley at 12 o'clock at night. We get it. That's worldwide. But in this game that we in, it's a group thing. It's you know what I'm saying? It's a team sport, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And this is why women in general, all over the world, will always look at the white man as the big status quo. It's just that simple. He's organized, he's together, and they look at it. If you in any country in the world, Brazil, it could be in Asia, when a woman sees that white man, she's internally thinking that he has wealth, resources, and connections. And he's coming from something. He's coming from a system. When they see us, we might have a good job. We are Black Americans. We probably the wealthiest Black nation on the planet. But underneath, we're not really totally together like we should be.
That's 100% correct. 100%. Yeah. Even in the States, they think like that.
And you know what, man? It seemed like, I don't know when Black men in particular, I know everybody watched the channel, but I don't know when we'll kind of pick up on that, because we did build Black Wall Streets right out of slavery. That was amazing what we did without any type of outside financing. But I still wonder, like, okay, we got this Passport Bros thing going, and we've seen brotherhoods form in Pattaya, in Rio, in Sosua. So it seems like we're trying to get it back together because it's easier overseas than it is in America, where if we do something as a collective, we'll get torn down somehow, some way. I mean, they literally went through all the Black Wall Streets to build either highways or they either burnt them down. Do you see that forming a little bit overseas more so now?
Yeah, I even said that when I was in Pattaya. I said, even though that in Thailand, that's not my flavor of women, but being there, it was a good connection of being around other Black men there. There was definitely everybody knew everybody, it felt like. Mm-hmm. Everybody was comfortable around everybody. I mean, of course, you have the exception, but for the most part, most people were comfortable around each other. You got some shady stuff too, but for the most part, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate it. I appreciate the super chat, Captain Seco, but I can't read that, bro. But I appreciate the super chat. Somebody said also, because if you're a Passport Bro, you already think different than Black people in the States. And that's what I was going at. That's what I was going to. When I first created the Facebook group, Black Men Travels, that came Passport Bros. And I created other Facebook group, Passport Bros. The baseline has always been group economics with me. I've been preaching business when I had 300 subscribers. It was never so more about the women per se, because I know the women going to be there, especially overseas. That's going to be the least of your worries. It's more so about how are you going to live overseas? How are you going to get out the States? And you're pretty sizable YouTuber. Would you have any suggestions for guys to lead the matrix?
How would you live overseas?
Right.
Well, number one, the most important part that most people have the biggest issue with is finding a job that's remote. Mm-hmm. Once you get that down, and you're able to basically cut your cost of living by a third or even a quarter, it's all about how much excessive income can you invest in the right places. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But the hardest part is getting a job.
Mm-hmm. So I want to show you guys something real quick, and I'm going to drop this in the chat as well. Let me go ahead and drop this in the chat now. All right, where I got you here. All right. I want to publish this. I'm going to put it in the chat. We have the 300 jobs list. I believe you shared this as well, Auston, at some point. Hold on. So I want to show you guys that we got the 300 jobs list right here. It's available. I just put the link in the description. Because like I said before, a lot of guys are looking to make income while overseas. I know it's been plenty of times. I remember when I went to Brazil the first time in 2017, and I got on the plane. I was there for like 2 weeks. I got on the plane, and I was like, man, I got to figure out a way. I got to figure out a way to move over here or live overseas. I already saw then just within them 2 weeks that I was like, okay, This is me. This is me. I think you hit me when I was going up to the Christ Redeemer. I know you've been to the Christ Redeemer, Austin.
Yeah. No, I haven't been up there. But I know you're talking about.
But see, you did something. You did what your route was interesting. You did something a little different. Because you went to Brazil for how long previously? The first time?
Well, I was there from November to January.
The first time you went to Brazil, right?
Oh, the first time I went for a week, then 2 weeks, then November to January.
Okay. Now, was you influenced by the travel YouTube channels before? What brought you out there initially? So that's what brought you out there initially, looking at YouTube channels.
Yeah, I mean, I was always interested in Brazil before I found out about the travel channels, but then I found out about y'all when I started doing research on it, and that further inspired me.
Okay. So was it the movies? I know when I first heard about Brazil, I mean, of course I knew about Brazil growing up, but when I saw The City of God, did you see that movie?
No, but I know what you're talking about.
Oh man, when I saw The City of God, I was like, oh, this is crazy. Didn't really motivate me want to go there, but seeing Charles Tyler, rest in power to Charles Tyler, the Black Man's Option, shout out to the Black Man's Option, their Facebook group as well. Just seeing brothers living or moving or doing photos was just so shocking to me. I'm just sitting here like asking these guys, I'm messaging them like, bro, how are you living overseas? Like, why are you in Brazil right now? Isn't Brazil the most violent country in the world? Like, what are you doing really? And then you come to find out that no, it's dope over there. So I had to go see for myself. Right, that's what took me to Brazil. And at first, I tell a story all the time. Right before I went to Brazil, I went to my barber of I want to say 15 years. Grew up with him. He was with me when I had the curl, the fro, the box, everything. And he was like, he's like, man, you going to Brazil? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to Brazil, man. He was like, for what? I was like, I just want to check it out. I heard some beautiful women out there. Good culture, good food. I want to check it out. He was like, man, don't go, bro. Don't go. It's too dangerous for you, bro. He's like, they speak a different language. And I'm like, oh, shit, they do? He was like, yeah, man, they speak Portuguese. It's like super dangerous out there, bro. And I said, damn, he might be right. So I went home and I was like, man, I ain't going to no damn Brazil. They got me messed up, bro. These dudes must be tripping. But luckily, I was dating a Colombian woman at the time who was like, go. My mom said, no, Aaron, you need to go. You already paid for it. Go ahead. And I had by a guy by the name of Alan Harper, who was full Portuguese, who had been living out there for like 10, 15 years. And I pretty much paid for a consultation from him. But that's what really brought me down. That's what made me comfortable. Now, when I first touched down in Brazil, oh man, I was like, oh hell no. Like in the airport, if you leave in gig and you see the water tanks on top of the favela roofs.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Right? That what you thought too? You was like, oh hell no, what the hell?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, damn, this whole place about to be with the water tanks everywhere. But that's just the outer portion of the city. Once you get in the city, right, it's just as developed as anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. That's very true, man. Now, when you first went down there, did you know anybody at all, or you just went out there dolo?
I knew two women. I knew one from Belo Horizonte and one that was from Rio that I was going to be meeting when I got there.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said that a Colombian girl in the States. Yeah, man, I think I've dated all foreign women in America. I don't think I've ever been with an American girl, if I'm not mistaken. Dating-wise, like serious relationships. I was with a Haitian girl, Jamaican girl, plenty of Latino women. What about you, Austin? Did you date any foreign women while you was in the States? Still pretty much Americanized, but foreign.
Colombians, Mexicans. That's pretty much it. Colombians and Mexicans as far as foreign, but usually it was still just local American women.
Okay. Somebody asked me, are Passport Bros pulling their money to buy Airbnbs? I wouldn't say pulling their money together, but I do know quite a few brothers that own Airbnbs. As a matter of fact, I would always suggest when people ask me, get my consultations and stuff, or they say, what type of business would you start overseas? I would say, man, tread carefully because it's a lot of sticky situations. You don't have the government to run back to when somebody screw you over and sue. necessarily. I know a lot of brothers that have gotten screwed doing business overseas. Safe bet, in my opinion, has always been the Airbnb.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you got some established businesses. I mean, you got my man Flip Flop out there in Sasua, my man Cardell, my man Dante out there in Pattaya and everything like that. You do have guys that have businesses out there like restaurants, clubs, and bars. I think we got a new club restaurant in Cartagena, if I'm not mistaken. But I would just say make sure you connected, number one. And I say when connected, I mean really connected, okay? If you know what I mean, if you catch my drift with that, and get you a lawyer and network with the brothers around because they can give you a lot of information, even if they don't own a business. They can kind of give you the rundown, you know. All right, so man, we're coming up on a couple of hours, man. I know my man Auston got stuff. We're gonna do a show later on your channel, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. We're gonna do Argentina versus Colombia. All right, fellas. On Auston channel, I think it's 6 p.m. Eastern, correct?
Yes.
Excellent, man. All right, guys. So I would thank you for coming on the show, bro. I'm gonna be on your show in a few hours. Appreciate you coming on, bro. All right.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Always good linking up. But we're gonna do it again in a couple of hours.
All right, man. I'll see you then.
All right, peace.
All
right, family. Another great classic show. I know it started off a little rough, but we got done. I want to make an announcement. I'm excited to tell you guys about the Indigo campaign. The link is in the description. We are raising funds for the Passportbros V2 app. We got done with the beta phase. Now we're on to the next phase of creating our own infrastructure. It's going to be a little bit more built out. We're going to have a whole lot more features for you guys in the app. I know a lot of guys download the app, have the app. The app is doing well, but we want more features and we want more of an infrastructure for the app. So I'm going to play this video. To end the show, guys, do me a favor, contribute to the Indiegogo campaign for the Passportbros V2 app. All right? Peace. I am pleased to announce us moving on to our next phase, the V2 Passportbros mobile app. First off, I want to thank all the guys that contributed to the first Indiegogo campaign. We was able to raise $6,000 out of a $20,000 goal. Now that wasn't really enough, but I was able to contribute my own personal capital to get the beta phase done. I know many of you guys have downloaded the beta version. So yes, we do need some new features. We need some new development to go in there and spice it up a little bit. And this is going to be excellent. This is going to be great, man. You can only imagine the amount of millionaires that will be made within having our own social network. We're going to put you guys in a position to where you can make money online overseas within this app. I am pleased to announce that we are raising $250,000 for our Indiegogo campaign. Our app of the future is awaiting. So we need your help to fund this major project. There's a lot of benefits in having your own social network, guys. This network will be very powerful. The user interface will be beautiful and aesthetic, and it'll be a very good tool in your travels. All right, so this is some of the new features that we're going to be introducing to the Passportbros app. This update promises not to just improve speed and user-friendly interface, but a ton of new engaging features designed to revolutionize your travel experience. We are also excited to introduce an affiliate program and vendor shops within the app, creating a monetizable community. Your contribution to our Kickstarter campaign isn't just an investment in a mobile app, it's an investment in transforming the way our community explore the world. By supporting Passportbros, you're enabling us to create a more interconnected and accessible travel ecosystem that benefits travelers and local businesses alike. What I have in my hand is an exclusive Passportbros hat. If you contribute more than $25 to the Indiegogo campaign, you will get an exclusive hat like this right here. So let's come together and make this a reality. All right, peace.